Hi, everyone. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck is the Strength card. And this is a really beautiful card, and it's a card about understanding that our strength doesn't come from white knuckling it or brute strength and control. It comes from surrender and vulnerability and doing things even though we're afraid, putting ourselves out there and acknowledging where we're weak, acknowledging where we're struggling, acknowledging that we don't feel strong all the time. And in a way that's extremely empowering because you're not putting it's authenticity. So let's see how we build upon that theme with the rest of the cards. Very nice cards this week. Very, very nice. Lots of major arcana cards. So at the top of the spread here, it's the Three of Pentacles, and this is a card about working together and pooling resources so that you can get the best outcome. It's kind of interesting. In this card, there are a lot of cooks in the kitchen. We have all these three people looking while this guy is doing all the hard work. So for maybe some of you, you feel like you're doing all the hard work, but it's being noticed and it's being appreciated. So don't just sometimes you have to know, and this goes back to the Strength card, that not looking for you don't need the validation. Forgoing the validation and having it be enough that you know that you are doing your best and working really, really hard. And sometimes, again, when you that word surrender, does anyone realize how hard I'm working? Like, I'm working twice as hard as everyone else at work, and no one seems to care or appreciate or see that. Know that it is being seen and that it will pay off, but make sure you're still doing it because you take pride in your work. You take pride in your work ethic, and that's what's most important, not other people's validation. So try to be present and not worry about what other people are thinking or doing. Just continue to work hard and do your best. But I see looks of admiration, not jealousy or judgment, but admiration. So other people, whether they say it or not, do appreciate and value and are impressed with what you're doing. So which way am I going to read now? Right smack dab in the middle is the High Priest, which is the Hierophant card. And this is a card about wisdom and where we gain our wisdom from. So, of course, we can gain wisdom from religious leaders, spiritual leaders, motivational speakers, and things like that. But we can also gain wisdom through our experiences, through unexpected sources as well. It doesn't just have to be those traditional ways. So when he shows up in a reading, I think that something will transpire this week where I will learn some nugget of wisdom, some inspiration, something like it could be learning to let go, learning to not worry about what other people are thinking, learning to surrender, learning to, oftentimes if you've been really sort of pushing for something and you finally just say, you know what, I'm just going to let it go. I feel like I've made my point, or I've done all I can do. I've let it be known what I think or what I want, and then just let it go and truly let it go. Don't harp on it. Don't talk, just surrender to it. Like, I've done what I could and that's all I can do. It's often once we've sort of let go of something and stopped pushing that all of a sudden things turn around. Look for wisdom may come from a very unexpected source or occurrence this week. It's going to be a fortuitous week. On either side of this diamond spread, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Things are changing. The tide is turning, karma. And the Ten of Pentacles, which is a beautiful card of legacy and wealth and richness and family and home and support. Two of the very fortuitous cards, not just in metaphorically, but actual tangible wealth. So for some of you with the wheel on this side, your fortunes are turning in matters of the heart, because we have the Two of Cups, the most indicative card of love in the entire tarot deck, even above the Lovers. This is soulmate or twin, whatever you want to call it, those types of things, twin flames, I guess. But it's like you find someone and you just get each other. You know, it just clicks. You feel comfortable. You support each other. You're each other's best friends. You're just on the same side and in this together and going forward. Just knowing each other has each other's back. So it's that type of partnership. This really is a romantic relationship, but it can point to other types of partnerships as well, where things are just really clicking. And then we have this Four of Pentacles. And this card is about when I was talking about letting things go. If you're trying to control things too much, and we just, the more we feel like things are being taken away or we're not being validated or heard, the more we try to hang on to it. And so this is another card about surrender and not holding on to things too tightly. You can crush them. You can destroy it by doing that. So this is a week, and I guess there is a full moon, right? So to really let go, the universe, the people in the situation know your intentions and what you want, but you've got to let it go if you want. You don't want to keep something because you're caging it or forcing it to stay, right? So you need to allow free choice and allow things to happen organically and the way they're going to happen, because you run the risk, if you hang on too tightly, to destroy it. And that goes back to that Strength card of surrendering, this idea of surrendering this week. That, I think that's the wisdom, the lesson that's going to come through. And then over here we have the Emperor. A lot of male energy for a full moon, but when the Emperor shows up, I always read this card as, you need to be the leader of your own life. Any decisions that you're making, when we make decisions, there's lots that goes into the decision-making process. Or so sometimes we knee-jerk and we just make them impulsively. So that's obviously not the best way to make decisions without putting, thought and taking time to sleep on it. So definitely sleep on any decisions this week. Don't feel pressured to make a decision unless you feel like you've had a chance to sit with it for a while. But, we take other people's wishes and thoughts and opinions into consideration. But if we only do that, if we're making decisions in the space of trying to please others, or what would other people want? Will this make them happy? Will I gain their approval? All sorts of things. Will that keep them happy? in the end, we're the ones that have to live with the decisions we make, period. So even if, so you won't necessarily make everyone happy with your decisions, but they sure as heck better be the decision that you can live with. A good leader has to make decisions based on what he thinks is best for everyone, but he can't please everyone. So you need to do that with you. You need to make the best decision for yourself, taking into consideration everything else, but it has to be the best decision for you that you can live with, because you're the one and the only one that has to deal with the consequences of your decisions, and they could potentially be far, far reaching. So don't be afraid to live your life for yourself and do what's best for you. It's not being selfish, because what happens if we make decisions for other people based on other people? That's where resentment builds up. We're like, well, I did this for you and I did that for you. And of course, sometimes we make compromises. But if you're always making the compromises and there's no give and take, that can set up just an atmosphere of resentment, and isn't sustainable. Definitely going within, gaining some wisdom, reassessing how you've looked at things and dealt with things and what your guiding principles are. Some of you maybe have been quite controlling, whether you realize it or not. And I think you're going to let that go. You're going to realize there's strength in allowing things to happen and not pressuring people and thinking, well, if they want to be with me, they're going to have to do it themselves. I can't force someone to want to do something. And you can't micromanage everything. So it's best to let go, figure out work on yourself. That's always the best thing to do, right? We always have, there's a gold mine of things that I need to work on. It's a never ending. So we can always just work on ourselves and let everyone else have that same experience, because they need to learn their own lessons too. We're all here to hopefully grow and learn some lessons and find some peace through those lessons and the wisdom we gain from it. The wheel also talks about becoming. It's funny, I really love fantasy books. So there's this series that Kim Harrison writes called the Hollows series, HOLLOWS. It's finished now. There are like 14 books, but she just wrote sort of a prequel to the books, and they always are drawing circles and then putting like this protective bubble over it, because there are demons and stuff in it. It's an awesome series. I love it. I think the first one's called Dead Witch Walking, one of my favorites. Anyhow, it's kind of interesting. By learning to stay at the center of the wheel, you are protecting yourselves from the ups and downs, from the highs and lows. You get to maintain calmness and peace. And that's an internal thing. Learning to stay calm and centered, and not trying to control the external world around us all the time. We end up here with this is kind of a long reading, with the King of Cups. So he's an emotionally mature man that feels his feelings, uses his feelings to guide him, but he's not ruled by them. He's next to the water. So water stands for emotions, but he's not in the water. He doesn't make impulsive decisions based on his feelings and his emotions, because, emotions can go up and down and all over the place. So he's learned to acknowledge them. He can freely speak about his feelings, but he doesn't get angry or emotional or make knee-jerk decisions. So I think we're really learning this week to be calm, to surrender, to sleep on things for a while, and to not try to control things and just control ourselves, make sure we're making good decisions for ourselves, and really trying to find the wisdom in the experiences we have. So thanks so much for stopping by today. Take care.